Welcome to Racing Unleashed.
Sanchez mit einem etwas schleppenden Start.
And if all the cars make it through turn number one, I'll be amazed. And that was a brilliant move by Devin Isgro, which goes horribly wrong.
Genauso möchten wir das sehen, Rad an Rad.
Und wir sehen Sanchez, dem wir gratulieren dürfen.
Was war das für ein Rennen?
This is Racing Unleashed. And this is Manuel Wendel. We're in Spa this weekend. And it's only natural, therefore, that Manuel should find himself in a spa. Well, sort of a massage chair. There are no essential oils and no hands are touching his body. The whole thing is quite hilarious as both Nico and Gianluca join in with the fun we are all having and extracting out of Manuel, who is having his spa at Spa. Yeah, okay, I'll get my coat because quite clearly my comedic humour is not worth very much at all. However, welcome to Racing Unleashed, and this is Spa-Francorchamps, which is one of the most iconic tracks, as Manuel tells us now. Iconic because, of course, of the length of the track, 7 kilometres. Iconic too because there's 19 turns, 10 of them left, 9 of them are right-handers. And, of course, the elevation changes as the circuit winds its way through the Ardennes region of Belgium is absolutely extraordinary. And, of course, over the years has provided so much scintillating motor racing entertainment for us, and that will continue with Racing Unleashed. The start is going to be very hairy, I'm sure, with all the cars on the grid. A very short start-finish straight into the right-hander hairpin, which is La Source, turn number 1. You then head downhill, full chat flat, towards Eau Rouge, and then it's ready on. Here is our Racing Unleashed ambassador and former Formula 1 driver, Karl Wendlinger, to give us a hot lap at Spa.
Okay, Spa-Francorchamps, main straight. First hairpin, La Source, hard braking, down the second gear. And early on throttle again. Down the hill to Eau Rouge flat out. And all the speed up the hill on the long straight. And then heavy braking into the chicane, right. Early on throttle again to the left-hander. Hard braking, 180-degree hairpin, and back on throttle. Little lift for the left-hander, back on throttle. Braking for the first left-hander, very fast one, and flat on the second one. Chicane, hard braking, turning in, and back on throttle. Hard braking, tight right-hander, and back on throttle, second right-hander, flat out. And long straight towards Blanchimont. Blanchimont flat out, more than 300 kilometers an hour. And then heavy braking for the last chicane. And back at start finish.
A brilliant lap. Thank you, Karl. And stand by. We are going to meet our contestants in our racing lounges who are ready to do battle here at Spa-Francorchamps. And here comes the grid in full. Who is it going to be? P1, Alejandro Sanchez in the Racing Lounge in Madrid. P1, P2, Coque Lopez, also in Madrid. It's an all-Spanish front row for this race at Spa-Francorchamps. In München is Michal Smidl. He goes from P3. He's right up the trumpet of our pole sitter. Then it's Enrique Maranon going from P4. To the third row of the grid, we find Christoph Holstein. He's in Zurich. And alongside him is Wojciech Polesny going from P6 on the grid. To the fourth row we go now, which is P7 and P8. Ivan Kaufmann in Calm and Roger Mate for Racing Lounge Kemptal. He goes from P8. To the fifth row of this packed grid of racers, Dave Ladamada could be a danger man going from P9, and Angelo Michel is going from P10 on the grid. To P11 and P12, where we find Loris Mistretta and Dominik Dedic. He's got some overtaking to do from the sixth row of the grid. He goes from P12, and going from P13, Thomas Dolecel and Devin Iskro alongside. They complete the seventh row of our grid for Racing Unleashed here at Spa-Francorchamps. P15 and P16 go the way of Kevin Aby and also Besnik Mertetzi, both of them situated in our Racing Lounge in Zurich. All eyes now on the track. All eyes will be on the lighting gantry. Hold on to your hats. Here comes Racing Unleashed from Spa-Francorchamps. The lights get extinguished now. Let's go racing. Good start from our pole sitter, Alejandro Sanchez. Coque Lopez tries to close the door, but he touches Alejandro Sanchez. Sanchez goes wide. Coque Lopez is out as well. This all plays into the hands of Michal Smidl. However, he is being chased hard by Enrique Maranon. They head down to Eau Rouge now. And from Eau Rouge, it's Radion and then the Kemmel Straight. Alejandro Sanchez trying to come back here, but now in that P5 position. Two wheels on the grass at one point. They go almost three abreast into Les Combes at the end of the Kemmel Straight. Then surely Michal Smidl ahead of Enrique Maranon. But then, as you can see, cars shortcutting the chicane, coming back onto the track. And then various cars going around, including Holstein. And I think Alejandro Sanchez was involved in that as well. Now, the big beneficiary here, may I remind you, starting P9 on the grid is Dave Ladamada. I said he could be one to watch right at the start of this race. He is in P2. So from P9 to P2, and we've not even completed one lap of racing yet. However, our race leader is Michal Smidl, who has put such a gap on the rest of the cars who are doing their level best, including Coque Lopez then, who is trying to come back. But as you can see, he's got a train of cars behind him and a huge, huge gap to make before he can get on terms with Michal Smidl, who of course is leading the race now, and between him and Michal Smidl is Dave Ladamada as well. What an opening lap, and the lap is not completed yet. So the cars will run into the bus stop chicane. For the first time of asking, you rise slightly uphill through the bus stop chicane, exit, try and get good trajectory so that you've got maximum momentum across the start-finish line. And there you can see Michal Smidl already on his way down out of La Source before the other drivers have made it even into La Source. But under real pressure now is Dave Ladamada. This P2 place is under threat. It's a question of when, not if, that Coque Lopez is going to try and put one onto Dave Ladamada now. Surely it's going to come here along the Kemmel Straight. So Ladamada will need to protect the inside line, and he doesn't. Coque Lopez goes to the inside. And P2 slam dunk, fairly easy overtake for Coque Lopez, and Dave Ladamada relegated to P3 with Loris Mistretta P4, Roger Mate is P5, then it's Holstein and Kaufmann and Dedic and Michel ahead of Dolecel rounding out the top 10. Wow, what an opening lap. David Ladamada then, as we're on to the second lap now, and we go on board with Dave Ladamada. I absolutely love this onboard shot. Through the double gauche, you could see the turn coming up on the screen in front of him. He is now holding up Loris Mistretta behind. He is running in P4, then it's Mate P5. And you can see that now Lopez has been released from Dave Ladamada. He is beginning to close the gap to Michal Smidl, who is 4.5 seconds up the road. Big move going on here, potentially for P5 as well, as the cars go side by side. Absolutely superb racing going on from all our competitors from Racing Unleashed. This is the 7th of the season. We're at Spa-Francorchamps. You can see how easy it is to get the bus stop wrong as one car ends up with the back end turning around and on the grass. So we put another lap in the book then here at this fantastic Spa-Francorchamps circuit and run down to Eau Rouge now. The race being led by Michal Smidl. However, Coquet-Lepers is really chasing now. There is Holstein running in that P4 position. We run the split screen because there is just so much action to bring you. And of course, with such a long circuit as well, 7.004 kilometres of tarmac here at Spa-Francorchamps, and 19 turns for the drivers to navigate as well. Always the most frantic are the opening laps of the race, of course, as the drivers just settle down and jostle for the best and most maximum position that they can get out right at the start of the race, because that is the time to try and make your overtakes early on. Take advantage of others that are falling by the wayside, as indeed we have seen. We follow the battle that's going on for P5 and also P10 at the moment. Alejandro Sanchez then got to fight so hard from that P10 position he's in at the moment. And he's trying to do his level best to get ahead of those cars. Dave Ladamata has dropped down to P8 now after showing really, really good right at the start of the race and taking advantage, as I mentioned, of all those that fell by the wayside. Some of their own making, some, of course, of not of their own making. A side-by-side here. Wojciech Polesny is involved in this mix as well. As the cars run into the bus stop chicane, we watch Kaufmann now as he exits the bus stop chicane and onto the start-finish straight once again. Polesny then on the inside line through the bus stop, giving you an example of just how the bus stop can be used to your advantage. Then, until you experience that turn number 1, the La Source turn, you just really don't realise what the elevation change is from La Source all the way down to the bottom and Eau Rouge, and of course that huge climb before you reach the Kemmel Straight through Radion. And that's where we join the cars now then, very, very fast part of the circuit, where you come out of the slipstream and try and take advantage, and Alejandro Sanchez finding himself now having to really defend going into the chicane, and he's done so okay. He's got Roger Marte for company, of course, well within his target size. He's Dave Ladamata, who's running in that P8 position ahead of him. But Smidl is still leading by 4.7 seconds over Coquet-Lepers. Then it's Loris Mistretta, a good showing from Loris Mistretta, ahead of Holstein and Kaufmann. Then it's Michel. Then it's Ladamata, Sanchez and Marte completing the top 10. Enrique Marinon down to P11 with Wojciech Polesny, then Motezi, Dolacel, Iskro and Aby rounding out the 16 runners in this race here at Spa-Francorchamps. Ivan Kaufmann then running in P5. Holstein ahead. And it needs to be full steam ahead for Kaufmann then trying to reel in Holstein and Mistretta as well. So Michal Smidl then, who is able to breathe a nice sigh of relief in the opening stages of this race because he has got that comfort of margin of some 4.5 seconds between him and the next competitive car on the grid. And of course, all of them being involved in traffic just means that he is able to just focus on each apex and do his level best on the track and not worry about what's going on behind him, because there's plenty of action going on behind him, as you can see. You've got to be oh so brave here, and this is precisely what Holstein is doing, trying to get to the inside here. So let's watch these as they run into the chicane then, side by side. The inside line is the one to have. However, the inside soon becomes the outside, but if you carry enough momentum, it is done. And that was a textbook example of how to use your exit from climbing uphill and onto the Kemmel Straight to carry as much speed as possible and to take advantage. And that's precisely what has been done. Really, really good to watch. Huge skill with our drivers in the lounges all around the place, doing a great job here and providing fantastic entertainment for us. Loris Mistretta then, who is running in P4 at the moment. As you can say, we split the screen to give you two vantage points, if you like. So Loris Mistretta then with Holstein ahead now, P3. Then it is Coque Lopez, P2, who's now 5.1 seconds down on Michal Smidl because, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, Smidl has got nothing to worry him. He's got no traffic ahead of him, and he can just focus and concentrate on every lap that he's doing. Dave Ladomada then, after showing really, really good on the opening lap, he's now in P8, and this is Loris Mistretta then, who we ride on board with now, heading towards La Source. Turn number 1. It is a real hairpin, and not only is it a hairpin, but the car is pulled to the outside of the track because you're running downhill as well, and I have to say that was a perfect example of using turn number 1, and perfect trajectory through there from Loris Mistretta. Just delighted to be on board with him in that P4 place. Chasing Dave Ladomada now is Alejandro Sanchez then. Sanchez and Dave Ladomada then contesting this P8 position as they run into the chicane. Les Combs proves to be Les Delight for Alejandro Sanchez, who moves himself past Dave Ladomada and up into that P8 position. So, we have Smidl, Lopez, Holstein, the top 3, followed by Mistretta, Kaufmann, Dedic, Michel, Sanchez, Ladomada and Marte, rounding out the top 10. And we are on lap 6 of 18 here at Spa-Francorchamps. Dave Ladomada, and alongside in the split screen is Wojciech Polesny. I am in awe of all our drivers in this competition here at Spa-Francorchamps. Absolutely brilliant driving. Alejandro Sanchez then continuing his quest to move forwards following the disastrous start for him, and trying his level best to get on terms with Angelo Michel, who is next in his target sights. And whilst we're watching this, Michal Smidl has lost time to Coque Lopez. So Alejandro Sanchez through the bus stop chicane then. First right, then left. You continue to climb a little bit uphill all the way through the bus stop chicane, and as you can see, there is an elevation change into turn number 1, and then you run rapidly downhill. It's a real roller coaster here at Spa-Francorchamps, and Alejandro Sanchez with Angelo Michel tracking him for all it's worth through Radion on to the Kemmel Straight we go now. 317 kilometers per hour before we split away. Absolutely extraordinary speed carried into Les Combs. You've got to be oh so brave. There's Roger Marte completing the top 10 at the moment with Dave Ladomada in front as Roger Marte exits the Les Combs chicane and into all sorts of strife and makes contact with the barriers. Wow, saw that absolutely live as it unfolded and happened before our very eyes. Loris Mistretta, P5. So Michal Smidl then, has got the margin back to Coque Lopez. It's up to 5.1 seconds between Michal Smidl and Coque Lopez. Then it's Holstein P3, Kaufmann P4, Mistretta, Dedic, and here in P7 is Alessandro Sanchez with Dominique Dedic. The car that he is trying to reel in for all he's worth. So Alessandro Sanchez continuing his forward-facing trajectory and trying to pick off drivers one by one. Under braking then. He was king of the late breakers going into the bus stop. Has he got good exit here? Yes, he has. Dominic Dedic could be vulnerable. Into La Source we go. We follow this battle for P6 then. Alejandro Sanchez tries to get a better exit, but actually Dominic Dedic is able to show him a clean pair of heels at the moment. Let's stay on board through Eau Rouge then. You can see just glancing the curbs, but this is where Sanchez has got the momentum along the Kemmel Straight. So to the outside he goes. And is he going to be able to be nose in front as they go into Les Combs? Yes, he is. Perfect driving from Alejandro Sanchez, who moves up to P6 now. So, Alejandro Sanchez on this rich vein of form that he's showing, and we know what a good driver he is. And now has Loris Mistretta in his sights. So, Loris Mistretta running in P5. Meantime, we split the screen once again and look at just some of the battles that are going on elsewhere throughout this packed race that we're enjoying from Spa-Francorchamps. But all eyes on Alejandro Sanchez, to be honest with you. This is perhaps the most compelling battle, as one by one he's picking off the cars in front of him. Completely different lines being used there by Mistretta and Sanchez. Mistretta will be well aware of the fact that Sanchez is breathing down his gearbox. So as they break now, we've seen here Alejandro Sanchez, the way he uses the bus stop chicane by being very, very late on the brakes. It gives him real momentum coming out of that chicane. Here we are into La Source once again. Tyres, you can see, locking up and the smoke coming off the tyres as meantime, side by side, Dolezal goes. And again, using that bus stop chicane to perfect effect. So Sanchez then, has he got the run on Mistretta now? Is it going to be a duplicate carbon copy of what he did just a one lap ago? Well, you can see that Mistretta is trying to protect that inside line, just as happened previously. Sanchez does go through. What a superb overtake that was. So Sanchez on a real roll now and has really got his mojo back. It's up to P5 now for Alejandro Sanchez. Some brilliant driving we've been seeing, and whilst I focus on the left-hand side of your screen, you've got to look at the right-hand side of the screen as well, because all sorts going on here, and right in the middle of it is Dolezal. So much good racing, you cannot afford to even blink your eyes, because there is so much going on throughout the pack here. And as I said earlier on, the man that's got the easiest time of it at the moment perhaps is Michal Smidl, who is untroubled by anyone in front of him and untroubled by anyone behind him. Why? Because he is P1. As you can see, the fastest lap comes from Michal Smidl, just as I mentioned him, and no surprise there, because he is completely out on his own with a good, healthy margin of comfort over those that are doing the chasing. Coque-Lepers and Holstein and Kaufmann, and of course now Alejandro Sanchez. This is Dominic Dedic then through La Source hairpin, turn number 1, as there's contact going through the bus stop chicane. Wheels banging then. Of course, the bus stop chicane, scene of such great manoeuvres, but also it can bite you on the bottom if you get it wrong, and that's precisely what we saw just a few moments ago. So on the left-hand side of the screen, we're tracking Dominic Dedic and now Enrique Marinon. Enrique Marinon rounding out the top 10 at the moment, but he's chasing Dave Ladomada really, really hard now. Dave Ladomada running in P9 and Enrique Marinon then running in that P10 position, as you can see, as they run downhill now through this very, very fast sequence. Malmedy, Rivage, Pouon, of course, and into Stavolo as well. It's a fantastic sequence of turns here at Spa-Francorchamps, which we love this track, and the drivers absolutely love driving it because it can be so rewarding. And Enrique Marinon then, as we go on board with him now, and you can see him live in the simulator then, working really, really hard. The concentration, the focus, as he tries to reel in Dave Ladomada ahead of him, running in P9. Angelo Michel is P8. We split the screen once again so you can see all the battles that are going on, or some of them, as Alejandro Sanchez again uses the bus stop to fine effect and moves up another place. It's now P4 for Alejandro Sanchez. Wow, what driving. Absolutely extraordinary stuff to watch and to enjoy this Racing Unleashed race here at Spa-Francorchamps. I have to say, has been one of the most action-packed from the very start. And where are we? We are only on lap 11 of 18, so still lots of action to come as Enrique Marinon continues his quest to try and get P9 away from Dave Ladomada. Surely he has done enough. Surely he is able to get past Dave Ladomada here, but good defending from Ladomada. Oh, and he gets it wrong. Carries too much speed, loses the back end of the car. Enrique Marinon says, "Ta very much. I am now P9. So Dave Ladomada losing out on a couple of places, 3 places in fact, as he's gone down to P13, P14 now as he tries to get the car pointing once again in the right direction. Dominic Dedic, P7. Loris Mistretta ahead. Then it's Kaufmann. Ahead of them all is Sanchez, who is just one place away from a potential podium place because he's running in P4. Dominik Dedic then, P7, Angelo Michel right behind him. Let's go on board with Dominik Dedic. You can see some of the supporters looking through the windows here at our lounge in Zurich. Absolutely compelling action that they're enjoying. Michal Smidl holding firm with that 5.7 second margin over Coque Lepers P2. Then it's Holstein P3, then it is Sanchez P4. This is Dominik Dedic though. Loris Mistretta is ahead of him. Angelo Michel behind him as they cross the timing beam and break that timing beam once again and start lap 12 of 18. Dominik Dedic then rounds La Source turn. Oh, you could just see a little bit of backwards movement there from the Angelo Michel car. Just giving you some example of how hard you work the virtual tyres around this Spa-Francorchamps circuit. And degradation, of course, playing an effect, as indeed so does the virtual fuel load as it lowers during the course of the race. So, 6 laps left to run, including this one, as we go on board with Christoph Holstein, also in Zurich. And Christoph Holstein through the Bruxelles turn, running downhill on this roller coaster that is Spa-Francorchamps, as we go back to Dominik Dedic now. So Smidl, Lopez, Holstein, Sanchez, Kaufmann, the top 5. Dominik Dedic just outside the top 5. He's running in P7, chasing down Loris Mistretta. And he's got, 5/6 tenths of margin to make up on Loris Mistretta to try and put an overtake on. Of course, it's all very well getting on terms with the car in front of you. Getting on terms is only half the battle. The other half of the battle, of course, is getting by the car, which we've seen some brilliant overtaking carried out by nearly all our drivers in this race that we're enjoying here at Spa-Francorchamps. Michal Smidl then with 5.6 seconds of margin over Coque Lepers. And Lepers, whatever he throws at this, is just not able to get on terms with Michal Smidl. P1 for Michal Smidl, P2 for Coque Lepers, and Holstein then running in P3. And Dominik Dedic having a hairy moment there just as he made his way into the bus stop chicane. Luckily, running uphill through bus stop, it scrubbed some of the speed off, so he was able to save that perfectly okay and no harm done. So Dominik Dedic then continues to try and get closer to Loris Mistretta. It's high time that we had a look at the replay of the start then, and we rolled the replay sequence all the way back to the cars getting ready to be released from the grid, with particular focus on Coque Lepers and also to Alejandro Sanchez. So as the cars are released from the grid, and they will head towards La Source turn number 1, which is something of a funnel, as I have mentioned. You can see the big fight going on over P2, which had consequences for P1 as well. And then 2 cars very, very badly out of place and out of position. Now the quest is on to try and make up as many of those positions lost right at the start of the race. And unfortunately, as they made their way onto the Kemmel Straight, heading toward Les Combes chicane, and this is where it was going to go horribly wrong. Now 3 abreast is always dodgy here, and as you can see, contact made, and then it was the return on the track for Alejandro Sanchez, which pushed him so far back down in the order, having made contact with a number of cars. From there on in, that is why we have seen so much overtaking from Alejandro Sanchez, and why race control may have something to say about it in due course. Meantime, Michal Smidl then with 5.8 seconds of margin leads Coque Lepers and to Christoph Holstein for P2 and P3, with Kaufmann P4 and Loris Mistretta and Dominik Dedic P5, P6, and Angelo Michel P7, Enrique Marinon is P8 with Roger Marte P9, and Alejandro Sanchez then fighting over P10 and P9. So lap 14 of 18. And there you can see Michal Smidl then, 5.8 seconds. Now, as I mentioned, race control taking a look at the start sequence, and here's what they have to say.
Race control here. Drive-through penalty for Alejandro Sanchez. 10 seconds penalty for reckless driving for Coque Lopez.
Oh, so that's why Alejandro Sanchez all of a sudden has dropped down the order, because he's had to take a drive-through penalty. And Coque Lepers is picking up a 10-second time penalty as well. That's going to take him back probably to P6 or P7. What have we got? 4 laps left of running. So Michal Smidl then, his margin now is over Christoph Holstein, who is running in P3, who's 7.5 seconds behind him. So Coque Lopez for reckless driving gets a 10-second penalty, and Alejandro Sanchez picks up a drive-through penalty, which has pushed him back to P9. Wow. Race control, of course. They have so many different angles that they can look at, and they have made their judgment and they have made their decision. We are on lap 15 of 18 then as Dominik Dedic rounds the exit of the bus stop chicane and heads for La Source turn number 1. Ahead of Angelo Michel and Enrique Maranon, then it is Alejandro Sanchez. And here we can see Thomas Dolesel then through the bus stop chicane. That has been the scene of so much great racing during the course of our race today from Spa-Francorchamps. Wherever you're watching this and whichever lounge you're in, these drivers have delivered and over-delivered in terms of brilliant racing, and race control doing a good job as well in making sure that penalties are awarded where they feel those penalties are justified. Doubtless, the drivers will have something to say about it at the end of the race, but we await that with interest. Enrique Maranon, then, he's been involved in a lot of the action during the course of the race that we have seen and continue to enjoy. We reached the closing stages of the race, but of course, closing stages of a race which is 7 kilometers long per lap. There's still plenty of action, potentially still to come. Enrique Maranon then running in P8. Michal Smidl, who we've seen very little of during the course of the race. The reason we've seen very little of him is because once he got his nose in front, he has been relatively untouched. As a sideways moment there for Enrique Maranon as the back end of the car just let go. He controlled it supremely. And bear in mind, these cars are extraordinary machines to be able to harness and get the best out of. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2 seconds. 985 brake horsepower and a top speed of over 340 kilometers per hour. And our drivers harnessing the extraordinary performance from these cars very well indeed, which leads to great entertainment for us. Look at that gap over Coque Lopez for Michal Smidl. But the one that is critical is where he is ahead of Holstein, because, of course, Coque Lopez has got that penalty to be awarded at the end of the race. So it's Smidl from Holstein, Kaufmann and Mistretta in real terms. And Enrique Maranon is going for another overtake here as we watch the cars coming into Les Combes now. Let's pick up on these two side by side. Enrique Maranon again just using that chicane absolutely perfectly. Another brilliant overtake. So it's P7 for Enrique Maranon ahead of Angelo Michel. So Wojciech Polesny to the right-hand side of your screen there. And he is in front of Roger Marte. There is Roger Marte as we go back to our left-hand side of the screen, and Angelo Michel then. And now you can see that Enrique Maranon has got by Angelo Michel. He is right targeting Dominik Dedic now. Dominik Dedic and Loris Mistretta are the cars up the road. Just see Dominik Dedic going through on our camera there. There is Angelo Michel, and this is race direction. This is race control. And as you can see, all the data and all the camera angles that the race officials have at their disposal means that no drivers are going to be able to get away with anything. Isgro has got past Dolesel for P12, and this is Dominik Dedic then into the bus stop chicane. Takes just enough curb on the in and also on the out, so he's got perfect momentum for the small climb uphill initially on the start-finish straight and then into La Source. Let's go on board with him now. So you can see down to second gear, then the right-hander just take a little bit of curb on the exit of La Source, and then it's full chat flat all the way through Eau Rouge, where you've got to be oh so brave on the curbs and you've got to have confidence in the car, and Dominik Dedic has got that by bucket loads, running in that P6 position, chasing down Loris Mistretta. You can just see Loris Mistretta coming into a shot now, and here comes Dominik Dedic chasing him. Of course, what he doesn't want to do is leave himself vulnerable to Enrique Maranon as well. We are on lap 17 of 18 as we split the screen once again to enable you to see all the action that is going on in this Racing Unleashed race here at Spa-Francorchamps, because throughout the race there has been so much, and we do not want you to miss a bit of it. Whoa, Devin Isgro, how did he keep that out of the barriers? But he did. That was a big, big save. A real heart-in-the-mouth moment that was for Devin Isgro. Great driving from him, though, as he managed to hold on to it and keep it out of the barriers. And that, a real scary moment. And just proving how much speed you carry here at Spa-Francorchamps. And, of course, reaching the end of the race means that, as you can see, grip is something really that is potentially hard to come by at the end of the race. We are on the final lap then. Dominic Dedic, P6. Michal Smidl has started the final lap with 6.5 seconds ahead of Coque Lopez. But crucially, an even bigger gap back to the P3 driver, Christoph Holstein. So on the final lap here at Spa-Francorchamps, and Alejandro Sanchez then running in that P9 position. But Michal Smidl to the right-hand side of your screen, Dominic Dedic to the left-hand side of the screen. Michal Smidl, it has been yet another masterclass from this driver. Now, what he did, he kept his cool while all others were losing theirs right at the start of the race. He was able to pick off so many cars in the skirmishes that were going on, and from there on in has not looked back. He has had such pace, he has had such poise, and he has been able to deliver on the tarmac. He's looked after his car, he's maintained a sizable gap, and has not been chased during the course of the race, which means the final few turns he has left to do as he rounds the fast turn 17 and heads up towards the bus stop chicane, which is where we are now. Michal Smidl then. First the right-hander in, the left-hander out, and then he whale-tails it across the timing line as Michal Smidl wins at Spa-Francorchamps. The arguments going on over the rest of the places will continue. And bear in mind, there is a time penalty to come for Coque Lopez. So it should be Holstein P2, then Kaufmann P3. Enrique Marinon's not done with the race yet. Into the bus stop chicane with Dominic Dedic there side by side. Enrique Marinon has taken it from Dominic Dedic. P6 for Enrique Marinon, P7 for Dominic Dedic in the final few meters of tarmac here at Spa-Francorchamps. Wow, what a race. And Dominic Dedic, my goodness me, he enjoyed that. And so too, I should think, did Enrique Marinon. So Smidl, as Thomas Dolezal comes into La Source then. Coque Lopez then on the Camel Straight, not looking quite so happy about things. Smidl, Lopez, Holstein is what's showing on our graphics to the left-hand side of the screen, but as I understood it, Coque Lopez was going to have to pick up a time penalty, and that would make him P3 and make Christoph Holstein P2, which is potentially why Christoph Holstein is smiling. Nico is going to catch up with Coque Lopez for us now.
All right, Coque, thank you for joining us. First of all, congratulations to your P3. But I'm not sure if I can congratulate you or not. Are you disappointed with the result?
I don't know. In the first corner, I had a little contact with Smidl, and that made me blow my tires, so I couldn't avoid to hit a little bit Alejandro. And of course, I'm sad for him because he didn't deserve that, but I couldn't avoid it. And then I tried to put my pace, and I didn't expect them to put a penalty to me because it was just something because of a little contact with another driver. So it was not really a mistake at all. But yeah, this is what it is, and I will try to get better for the next race.
From my point of view, to be honest, it looked more like there was no contact, but maybe you felt it different. But then after you locked it up and crashed a little bit into Sanchez, but I mean, yeah, as you said, it is what it is. But still, is there something good that you can take out of today's race?
Yeah, of course. Well, about the contact, I felt something. So for sure, maybe it was some lag or something, but I felt something before braking, and that's why when I broke, I locked my tires. But then about the race, yeah, for sure, I'm happy. And the good thing I take from this is that on training, my pace was not really good. Let's say my speed was about to be fourth in the race, but then today in this race, I managed to be faster and to have one of the fastest pace, which is what I take from this, and then try to get faster for the next race, because I know in the race situation I'm usually faster than on training, so I will just try to take the speed. No?
All right. Thank you very, very much, and congratulations again for your P3, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christoph, herzliche Gratulation zu deinem...
Christoph, congratulations on your second podium in a row. Now you have even become second after Coque Lopez was placed back with a penalty. You were incredibly strong and you were so solid through the whole race. How did you experience your race?
Das ganze Rennen, wie hast du dein Rennen erlebt?
Ja, also der Start.
Well, the start was of course chaotic. I'm not exactly sure what really happened there. I can't remember everything either because so much happened on the track. And then I actually had a bit of bad luck. First, I lost a few positions, which I then had to regain, and after that I was somewhat orderly again. Yeah, and what then? It was about maintaining concentration, driving steadily, controlling the distance to the rear, and nothing could go forward anyway because those in front were gone. And yes, to be honest, I don't even know how I ended up there. But I'll definitely take it with me and I'm super happy.
Genau gelandet bin, aber ich nehm's auf jeden Fall mit und bin super happy, ja.
Ja, das glaube ich dir aufs Wort. Und
We also have to say that there was a lot of information for us too about what happened in the first lap.
viel gelaufen. Fakt ist, du hast dich aus allem...
The fact is, you stayed out of everything, and sometimes there are races where you don't know exactly how to get ahead.
Deswegen, das ist überhaupt nicht irgendwie gestohlen.
You have now finished on the podium twice. What are your plans for the next race? Do you think you can keep this shape?
Erhoffst du dir jetzt noch, oder was sind deine Pläne jetzt fürs nächste Rennen? Denkst du, du kannst diese Form aufrechterhalten?
Ja, ich hoffe natürlich, dass ich weiterhin gut unterwegs bin.
I hope, of course, that I will continue to do well. What I always don't quite understand is that when I look at the training times, I'm somehow a little further behind. And then, whenever it comes to Sunday, they don't drive in qualifying what they drive in practice. I didn't calculate that much for myself. I just do my thing. And if I can continue to maintain that consistency, why shouldn't I get more podium places?
Ja, wir würden es dir auch...
So we would definitely wish it for you. Congratulations again on your second place and still enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Was fehlt, ist noch der Master himself, Michal Smidl, der zurück im Championship Game ist. Michael, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. I see you're still a little bit skeptical about everything when I look into your face. But from my point of view, that was the perfect race for you. How did you experience it?
I mean, the race was good. I was basically like from first lap, I had like 5-second advantage. So yeah, I was just managing that, and I just put a cruise control from first lap, and that was it. So
yeah, there was a lot of things going on behind, but you just did your race. You're now back in the championship lead because Sanchez was put back due to a drive-through. Did you expect this before the weekend, or is this really something very surprising for you?
Das ist Motorsport.
Next race will be Monza. Is that a track where you are comfortable with? I mean, the question is more likely which one is not comfortable for you, but do you feel ready for Monza, or is it a track that you don't really like?
Well, I think I can just find a way around on the track, so that's the main thing. And I think I've got some experience on that track in like most of the simulators, so should be okay. But and also it's going to be better for me because practically I was on Spa. I was practicing only on Tuesday and Wednesday was the last day that I was driving because I had to go back home and practice for the virtual Le Mans that I had yesterday. So there's going to be like more time to practice, so the performance is going to be even better.
Yeah, we definitely expect that from you. Nevertheless, congratulations. But I have one last question. You are now racing from Munich. That was the first time. How did you like it in Munich? How is the atmosphere there?
Well, I guess I had to like it because I was sent there, so with my teammates. So yeah, that was the case. But I mean, it was good. It was good. It was decent.
All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day and good luck for the next race.
Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
Always good to hear from our podium drivers. Michal Smidl then takes P1. Christoph Holstein with P2 because of the penalty awarded to Coque Lepers, who takes P3. So this is our virtual podium then, with Michal Smidl on the top step, followed by Christoph Holstein P2 and Coque Lepers in P3. Our Racing Unleashed competition for 2021 continues, having completed Spa-Francorchamps. However, before we look at our next race event, only right and proper that we should give due credit to everyone. Every driver that has taken part in this race here at Spa-Francorchamps will bring you the full result. We know P1, Michal Smidl. We know P2, Christoph Holstein. And we know P3, Coque Lepers. However, P4 goes the way of Ivan Kaufmann, Loris Mistretta, P5. Enrique Marinon and Dominic Dedic kept us guessing right till the end, P6 and P7. Angelo Michel, P8. Alejandro Sanchez, P9. And Wojciech Polesny then rounding out the top 10 for our race here in Spa-Francorchamps. And let's bring you the rest of the result now. P11 for Roger Marte, Thomas Dolasel, P12. Then it was Devin Iskro, Kevin Aby, Besnik Murtetsi and Dave Ladamado, a regrettable DNF, particularly when he did so very well, avoiding so many others right at the start of the race. So our casters, Manuel, Nico and Jan Luca, as always, have done a fantastic job. And this is where we head to next. The Temple of Speed in Italy. On the 24th of October, yes, we head to Monza. So again, another iconic racetrack which plays host to a Racing Unleashed round. And that's going to be something very special indeed because of the real high speeds that you can carry at Monza. It's going to really suit our Racing Unleashed cars. It's one I am so looking forward to. But for now, from Manuel, from Nico, from Jan Luca and from myself, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in Monza. Welcome to Racing Unleashed.
Sanchez mit einem etwas schleppenden Start.
And if all the cars make it through turn number 1, I'll be amazed. And that was a brilliant move by Devin Iskro, which goes horribly wrong.
Genauso möchten wir das sehen, Rad an Rad.
Und wir sehen Sanchez, dem wir gratulieren dürfen.
Was war das für ein Rennen?
This is Racing Unleashed.